Hi everybody, it's me, Megan, from Leafing Through Life, trying to do this whole vlogging thing again. I still have lots of Book Expo America Plunder to share with you, and I guess I should probably get right to it, because I tend to talk on at length, just like I go on at length in my blog posts. Okay, so first up, we have Let's Take the Long Way Home. This is by Gail Caldwell. Actually stood in line to get this signed because I remembered Wendy from Caribou's mom reviewed it, and she gave it an excellent review, and it sounded really excellent. It's a memoir of a friendship between the author and another woman. Both love dogs and both write. Sounds really interesting. The author was very nice. Next up, here's a book with a very unexciting cover just now. I'm sure it will get better. And this one's called Dust. It is by Joan Frances Turner. It is about zombies, but from the zombies' point of view, apparently. And it sounds interesting. It talks about, what if those moans and groans that the zombies are making are an actual language, and, sympathy for the zombies, maybe. Who knows? Okay, next up we have Cleopatra by Stacy Schiff. I was actually surprised when I got this home because I did not realize it was a biography. It doesn't look like a biography, it looks like a fictionalized account of some sort. And I picked it up not knowing that it was nonfiction. But it sounds really interesting anyway. So, okay. Next up, Molly Fox's Birthday. This is by Deirdre Madden. Sounds like a pretty introspective book, which is the sort of book I like on occasion. About Molly Fox's friend who is borrowing her house and thinking back on her friendship with Molly and with someone else. Sounds interesting. Lovely cover also. Next we have L. Ron Hubbard's If I Were You. I got this book for taking a picture with some pirates. I was supposed to get the pirate picture sent to my email, but I never got it. I guess you can't really trust pirates after all. Anyhow, the book is about a circus midget who wants to be not only be tall, but to be the tall circus leader guy. And it kind of goes awry for him, so it sounds interesting, but I still wish I had the pirate picture. Next up, Salvation City by Sigrid Nunez. This one I picked up at the dystopian panel. It is about a young boy who survives a flu pandemic and ends up with an evangelical pastor, and I'm not really sure what happens, but it sounds interesting, and about just contemplating the nature of salvation from this flu pandemic, and also in other ways. Next up is Oogie. This is by Larry Levin. I'm sure this is one of those dog books that you read and it makes you cry and cry. It sounds really good. It's about a family who took their cat to the vet to have it put down and ended up finding this dog that had been used as bait for fighting dogs, and he's pretty disfigured, but they take him home, and I'm sure he ends up playing a pretty significant part in their life. I mean, he wrote a book about it. Next up, we have Voice of America. This is by E.C. Osandu, I think that's how you say it. These are short stories. E.C. is a debut author that I saw on a debut author panel, and he was born in Nigeria, and these stories are that take place both in Nigeria and the U.S. So that sounds interesting. Next up, this is The Last Princess and the Cup of Immortality. by D.R. Whitney. I actually spent some time talking to the author of this book, as well as to a girl dressed as a princess. You know, you never know what you're going to see at BEA, apparently. Apparently, this book is supposed to be perfect for, you know, the fan of Harry Potter and Twilight and Lord of the Rings, according to the author, and so I grabbed a copy and to read it and see if it's the sort of thing that I like. Okay, next. The Gendarme by Mark T. Mustian. This sounds really interesting. I'm pretty excited about this. It's about a guy who is a World War I veteran who's lost a lot of his memories, but he keeps having dreams about being a gendarme, escorting Armenians from Turkey, and about, you know, a woman that he maybe falls in love with, and as his memory comes back, he feels like he has to go and ask her forgiveness. So lots of stuff going on there. It looks great. The cover's pretty neat. Next up, Saint Training. This is by Elizabeth Fixmer. I almost didn't pick this up. I wasn't sure if it would be my thing, but it has a nifty, like, little letter on the back from the narrator to a nun about how she's in 8th grade and she wants to become a nun before she starts liking boys too much, and it made me crack up, you know, wandering the aisles of BEA, so I had to pick it up and see what it was all about. Next up, The Duff. That stands for the Designated Ugly Fat Friend. This is by Cody Keplinger. I guess the author is actually only 18 or 19 years old, and she wrote this book, and it sounds really like a fun read. The narrator, I guess, is the Designated Ugly Fat Friend, and she falls for the school man slut, so yeah, it's like a sort of fun romance almost, maybe, I don't know. Alright, next up are two books that I am not even going to try to summarize. They are Foxy Baby by Elizabeth Jolly, and also The Sugar Mother, also by Elizabeth Jolly. These are books by an Australian author that Percy Books are re-releasing this October, I guess. Right now I'm reading another book that they re-released by her. It's actually a trilogy put into one volume, the Vera Wright trilogy, and I really like the writing, and it seems pretty interesting, and it's pretty deep and dense. But I guess that these two are actually supposed to be a little lighter and funnier, so I picked these up, and I hope that they're as good as the one that I'm reading right now. Okay, well, I think that is all I have for you now, and I think I'll be doing one more of these, because I think I have about 14 or 15 more books left to talk about. So, until next time, see ya!